Simon,
Dempsey, how are you?
how are you, dude? Long time no speak.
I was about to say, you remember me? I'm the guy making waves here.
How could I forget? How could I forget? All right, that's actually my first question for you. We last chatted in January. What has the journey been since? I
Oh.
remember when we chatted on Twitter, you were saying that you traveled to Berlin for the Berlinale. How has it been showing the film and building up the hype?
Pretty easy to build up the hype, to be honest. Everybody wanted the movie, so because it's the first. I was gonna say there's talk of go. Well, there's some other people filming ones now, and you're like, yeah, because we paved the way for them. Like they get safety from us. But yes, anyway, I was like, but there's only really value in being the sure. It's been quite a 6 months, or however many months it has been now. 8 months, obviously, it's August. After we dropped the trailer, which got seen by 26 million people in that 48-hour period, we had to do legals. Like we had to get lawyers involved, watch the movie, get copyright opinions, make insurance people, everybody to make sure that we were doing exactly what we thought we were doing, but they need lawyers to sign off on that and stuff like that to get our deals running. So we did that. And everybody was happy eventually. Sort of takes a little bit of time. We didn't really have to make any changes. We had to add disclaimers and things like that, but we didn't really have to. We didn't really change much of what we did. We changed the title. It was called Mickey's Mousetrap before, but now it's called just the Mousetrap. And they're like, we could have kept the old title, but the insurance guy would be happier if we changed it. So we said, okay, well, all right, we can just call it the Mousetrap. That's fine. And that was still fine for us. So it was the one hit we took. We were like, well, we feel like we can say it, and they were like, yeah, I mean, you can, but it would be safer if you didn't. And you're like, okay, all right, fine. So we did change that, but there wasn't. We didn't have to do much. We were right on the money with what we did. We knew we were the iteration of Mickey Mouse, the sort of Steamboat Willie's Mickey Mouse, which is what we used in our picture. Was the one that was in the movie. So I mean, he didn't wear the white gloves. He doesn't have the red jumpsuit. He's black and white. Sort of. Doesn't have eyeballs. He has just this like dark pupils. So we knew that the design of the character was safe. But we just needed other people to see it. So now, eventually, now to the other side of that. Well, the movie's coming out on this August 6th. So everybody is thankfully on board with that.
No, yeah, no. Thanks for talking about the title change. That was the most glaringly noticeable thing when I saw the what, I don't know, you want to call it the second trailer or the final trailer
The
that
final
came.
trailer, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had
Oh
to
my
add,
God.
yeah, two things we had to do is add a disclaimer in front of it, so people. I mean, this is not a Disney movie. Like, literally,
Yes,
just
I love that.
like, just add that, and then the title at the end. So, and we cut the trailer up a bit differently, but there's some new clips in there and stuff. But yes, it's essentially still the same movie.
The second trailer, honestly, much better. Not to say the first one wasn't good, but it got me more excited for the film because it shows you a lot more. It kind of like teases the narrative a bit more because in the first you just have like there's a Mickey killer around there or a guy in a
Well, the
mask.
first one we'd
Yeah,
always viewed as a bit of a teaser trailer, sort
yeah,
of hinting at stuff, and the next one we give you a bit more bang for your buck, for
and
sure.
it absolutely worked. All right, so you spoke to me about the title change. I want to talk about the crawl in the beginning of the film. Is that I got a version for interview access only, I guess, is I think that's what they call it for um
Yeah, I think
basically.
Annie would have shown you a same one, which is the cut of the movie.
Oh,
That doesn't.
okay.
Yeah. So you have
There's a
that.
crawl. There's a crawl. The Star Wars or not Star Wars crawl in front of it.
Hey, Dempsey. It's generic space crawl. Okay, it's not Star. Don't get me into any more trouble with Disney than I need to be.
Whose idea was that? And
That was Jamie Bailey's idea. Well, we had to have the sorry, the disclaimer we had to have. They were like, you have to have a disclaimer at the start of the movie. Like even on the trailer, you have to have a disclaimer. So when we did the trailer, we just thought this is not a Disney movie. But when it came to the movie, Jamie was like, well, what does it have to say? And you're like, well, just, I don't know. And we would just talk about it like it is in the disclaimer. And then Jamie just went and wrote that, like sort of like the way that we would me and Jamie would talk about it. And the first time I saw it, I didn't even know he was doing it. I saw it and is in this space scroll. and I was like, this is like really funny, and it was like, and it's perfect. Like it kicks off the movie, I believe, in the tone that it should be kicked off in. For sure. It should be kicked off that way. So yeah,
I agree. It definitely set the mood. It lets you know that this is going to be a playful horror comedy, which
yeah.
it very much is. The one thing I wanted to ask that you guys say a couple of times in the crawl, you reached out to Disney, and they didn't answer your calls or texts. Is that true?
Disney haven't responded at all. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we don't have to have their permission, and they don't need to respond. Like sort of, it's not. They're probably not going to endorse it and say, "Yeah, that's all right." They're not going to make our life
Of
easy,
course.
but yeah, they've definitely seen it. Yeah, well, they couldn't. They've definitely seen the trailer. It's not like they could be, oh, we didn't know anything about this. Sort of.
Yes.
Like, well, then I don't know what you're doing online because sort of a type thing. No, they. I don't think it's a bit like Winnie the Pooh. What they did with it, they just ignored them. Sort of. And in fairness, we're probably not that important to Disney. Like we're not really. We're not going to take any market share out of Disney, are we? So yes, they still haven't said anything. If you like, they haven't said anything definitively one way or the other. So
And
yeah, I don't imagine that they will.
let's talk about the actual movie. Great kill count. I loved every time you guys kept on throwing characters in, like the four hockey dudes at the bar. I'm like, okay, more bodies. I love it. The one thing that I still am trying to grasp my head around is the way in which I guess the spirit or entity inhabits your character. And I guess but I also feel like there's quite a bit of a setup for a sequel. So that's my question: is are the unanswered questions going to be answered in another project that may be in the works?
Uh, I can't possibly talking about. No, we can't. Yeah, I can't possibly talk about what's coming. However, having said that, we did obviously envisage that there would be more of this story and that the universe would get slightly bigger. However, you see that. So we have definite plans to look at something else straight away. So there could be something coming. I'm not allowed to say. Stop asking me
Of
things.
course, of course. I appreciate your answer. But I guess like branching off into that is the ambiguity surrounding your character and what becomes of him. Was that intentional?
Yes, I think we'd always left it open in case to we wanted to do something else. Yes, yeah, yes. I think my character, and then you'd probably be able to identify another character in there that might survive into the second iteration of this,
Yes.
without
Okay.
saying without saying what she will become. But if we looked at a Harley Quinn and Joker type trajectory for this, well, I'm sure you know where I'm going with that.
Interesting. Okay. No, no, no. That's very interesting. And then, um, plain and simple, what are you hoping people take away from this film? I ask everybody I interview this question. Is there a theme or something, or is this just pure adulterated
I,
fun
I
for
think
you? Something.
like we said before, it's a ridiculous movie, and it's a ridiculous idea. We just ran with it and we had fun with it, and I want people to have fun watching it. It's not to be taken too seriously, right? It's a slasher, like a '90s slasher. That's the sort of era of movies that me and Jamie kind of enjoy. And this is, where you didn't have to think too much about the story and what it means and it's like, it's just for you to enjoy. Don't worry too much about it all. Not everything is intended to make the Oscars long list. That's not the purpose of this. It's just for you to enjoy. And there's real, there's sort of, I don't know. It's a peace of mind for me knowing that that's what it is. We don't make it for any other reason. And some people are going to not like it. Some people hate it, and you're like, but some people hate any movie. You pick your favorite movie. Somebody out there hates it. Like you like a master, like E.T. Somebody out there hates E.T. And you're like, well, how could you hate E.T.? And you're like, but somebody does. Sort of. So I'm never worried about pleasing anybody. But the worst thing in the world is indifference. People go, nah. Sort of. So this is definitely a love or hate project. So I hope people just have fun watching it like we had fun making it.
Okay, and then my true last question here is you teased there is slash isn't like unofficially a plan for this to become franchisable. But have you seen, since we last spoke also, the guys behind the Winnie the Pooh stuff have announced the Poohniverse, which I'm
That's
sure.
right.
So
I saw that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
how has, what were you to say?
Well, yeah. The world is getting well because over the next 10 years, lots of characters. I'm sure you're aware
Public
drop in
domain.
public domain. In fact, in the next 10 years, like Superman drops at
Yes.
2034.
Yeah.
Batman drops at 2035. Like there's a bunch of characters that are coming. So the next decade is certainly a very interesting cinematic landscape because it's sort of like there's going to be like a reboot or a renaissance of all these things. Where all these, how people use this newly found, very rich, public domain resource now. So I don't know where that goes, but I'm very interested. We do have plans, myself and Jamie, to open up a wider sort of multiverse a little bit with different characters for different things. But
Different Disney characters per se, or
oh
other
no,
characters in
no,
general?
other characters like a bit, like the world is a bit more accepting of the multiverse. Like I'm sure you saw when X-Men crosses over into, like there's all
Yeah.
there's it's all possible. So yeah, I mean, so we have designs on that too, sort of, and we'll see where it goes. I don't know. Sometimes you develop these things and they work out, and sometimes you don't, sort of. But we are actively working on it. So yes, it's in our mind.
Awesome. Awesome. Simon, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for letting me check out the film. I'm excited to see what other people think about it. And unless you have anything else you want to say about it, I have no other questions.
No, just that it's out August 6th on VOD and on the 13th of August out on DVD and Blu-ray.
Awesome. Thank you, Simon. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day and good luck with whatever else comes next.
Thank you, Dempsey. Cheers.